One thing I wanna say from the start so we make clear, this is just first impression. This game will change drastically in the next year or two, so have that in mind. We are here to make the game better, not to complain. Games like this are very rare, and if we want to see more, please be patient. Developers are listening and they're changing the game with every upcoming day. Let's go.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader? Because I am. The Emperor protects.
So it begins. Yo, when they throw everything in your face on level 15, where I don't get to check progression, how you level up, with what? Dear son of a god. I don't know why they decided to throw everything in your face like this, instead of a classic level 1 and above. Jesus Christ, man. From defense, we got deflection, absorption, the percentage of damage that is deducted after deflection with each hit on the character. Lead defense would be deflection, and absorption, if you get hit, it lowers the damage you receive. There is dodge, chance to dodge, and then it comes from other things also. The dodge skill uses to nullify a successful hand-to-hand or ranged attack. Success on the skill test means the attack has been avoided and deals no damage. Enemy perception reduces base dodge. If the character is wearing medium or heavy armor, that chance is reduced. Medium armor by 0.75, heavy armor 0.5. When dodging an area of effect weapon such as a flamer or a grenade blast, a successful dodge moves the character to the ejected cell or the cell on the edge of the area of effect, as long as it's possible. If the character has no ejected cells to move into, or has no movement points to move to the proper amount of cells, the dodge test automatically fails. Successful area effect dodge test reduces the character movement points for the next turn by the number of cells moved and provokes attacks of opportunity from all enemies except the one that triggers the test. I hope that this same rule applies for my party too. They all shoot at you when you fail. Resolve determines the amount of momentum that is obtained at the beginning of a turn or per kill. There is momentum in the game. You can chain kills, I think. Weapon skill measures the character competence in all forms of close quarters combat. Characters with high weapon skill values are excellent warriors, renowned with a chainsword or even their bare hands. Ballistic measures a character accuracy with all forms of ranged weapons. High ballistic skill indicates a character is an excellent marksman, someone to be rightly feared in a firefight or a shootout. Strength measures a character muscle and physical power. High strength characteristic value allows a character to lift heavy objects and punch a foe harder. Toughness defines how easily a character can shrug off injury, as well as how easily they can resist toxins, poisonous environments, disease, and other physical ailments. Agility measures a character quickness, reflexes, and poise. There's fucking poise. High agility can allow a character to manipulate delicate machinery with finesse or keep their footing when crossing treacherous terrain. This would be for skill checks. These characteristics also determine a character movement rate. The higher the agility bonus, the further they can move each turn. Intelligence measures a character acumen, reason, and general knowledge. A character with a strong intelligence value can recall huge volumes of data, correlate esoteric clues, or determine if an ancient archaeotech relic is genuine or not. Perception measures character awareness and the acuteness of their senses. Character who has a high perception value can pick out a stray bolt or shell casing left amidst an underhive morass, or tell when someone is being deceitful. Willpower demonstrates a character ability to withstand the horrors of war, the terrors of space, and the dreadful opponents they're bound to encounter in their missions. High willpower allows a character to exert control over a crowd of near-rioting Heb workers or interrogate a captured heretic. It is also often used when wielding and resisting psychic powers. From everything I've seen so far, willpower is extremely important. Fellowship measures a character's persuasiveness, ability to lead, and force of personality. Having a strong fellowship makes for a character who can ingratiate himself into gathering of suspicious forged manuals or make skilled trades with willing vendors. It's willpower than its fellowship, by importance. But definitely willpower. Where were we? Weapons, plasma, different than in Wrath. There's ammo, range, rate of fire. So you got skills on weapons. You can overcharge, there's a single shot. Overcharge is area effect, extra damage. And down there are skill checks. Coercion represents a talent to manipulate other people through intimidation. It comes from the Fellowship. Commerce comes from the Fellowship, used to build business ventures, negotiate contracts, form trade networks. Tech use comes from intelligence, allows to use or repair complex mechanical items or fathom the workings of unknown technical artifacts. If I'm right, mechanicus should have huge intelligence. Tech, that's tech. Tech into, yeah, 8. Basically, Pascal is a technician and a medic. What's Cassia? All around. Argenta, ballistic, classic. Idira is a psychic, okay? Yeah, that's like a mage. And Inquisitor, all around melee. Lore Imperiums represents understanding about the secretive organization of the Imperium, its common tenets and famous Inquisitor. Lore Warp, knowledge about some of the most infamous warp entities and their twisted physical manifestations, includes an understanding of the energy of the warp, its interaction and interrelation with real space, and how its tides and eddies affect travel between the stars. That sounds important, since you're gonna spend most of the time in a ship exploring. Xenos, alien species. Logic, used to solve problems, decipher puzzles, operating cogitators and deal with other situations involving demonstration and inference. Classic meds, diagnose and treat injuries. Demolition, craft explosives. Persuasion, the allow to restore the morale of the ship's crew. Where can I save there? With me or not? Reputation, bio, progression, leader. No description. Adept, fighter, soldier. Second tier careers, assassin, veteran, strategist, vanguard. Let's see the companions. Pascal is a venerable magus of Adeptus Mechanicus. For the glory of the machine god Omnissiah, he performs sacred maintenance algorithms and protects the blessed mystery of technology from the ignorant. As a member of the Explorator fleet, Pascal leads an eternal crusade in search of sacred knowledge. After meeting the Rogue Trader on the high world of Rykard Minores, Pascal joined the Lord Captain's retinue. He hopes that such a powerful patron will help him find his long-lost mentor, Archmagus Amaranth, whose mysterious message prompted Pascal to embark on the journey. Cassia Orselio. I already said about Xenos, pronounce it however you like. We can also call it Alien and get done with it. No co-op? I do not know. Maybe on a full release. Cassia Orselio is the young heiress of the Navis Nobilite House. A unique navigator gene allows her to guide humankind's void ships through the warp. Gazing fearlessly into the depths of the Sea of Souls, the price for this incredible gift is terrifying mutations that devour the girl's fragile body, further alienating her from humankind. After surviving an assassination attempt on the station Urak 5, Cassia found herself in Rogue Trader's crew much sooner than her mentors ever expected. Years spent studying tomes and maps failed to prepare the girl for the challenges of the outside world, and of her own navigator house, which is being torn apart by a power struggle for the navigator's throne. So we got Adeptus Mechanicus, we got a navigator, we got... Is she a space marine? Sister Argenta is one of the blessed Adepta sororities, sometimes referred as daughters of the Emperor. Furious in both battle and prayer, the young warrior yearns to bring light to the dark corners of the Coronis expanse. Argenta traveled on the Voidship of Theodora van Valancius, so she was already here. On the fateful day when the vessel was attacked by the servants of Chaos, she joined the future Lord Captain and helped repel the attack. And that's how Theodora died, when Chaos attacked the ship And that's how you became the Lord Captain. They could easily put the intro in the game and let us start from level 1 instead of level 15. Because reading this actually discovers what they're gonna do in a prologue. I don't see a reason why not having a prologue then. The sister proved herself to be a desperate warrior and a reliable comrade in arms, but what brought her to the ship and what keeps her here? She is in no hurry to lay bare her soul. Okay, classic brute. Idira Tlas is a psyker, so we got a psyker now, that's a mage. So we got a tech, a navigator, a brute, a mage, and the inquisitor. Idira Tlas is a psyker diviner in the service of Rogue Trader von Valancius, daughter of a distant world and a product of a doctrine alien to the Imperium. She perceives the curse of Psychana as a gift she deserves, for only the most skilled and strong can endure the touch of the materium. Years of using the Psychana have cost both Idira's mind and soul dearly. With each passing day, her ability to keep the malignant forces under control weakens, until the moment when the warp will devour the diviner without a trace creeps ever closer. Who knows if Idira will be able to come to terms with the inevitable, or if she will turn to other forbidden forces in search of salvation. At the end we got Inquisitor, I think it's Inquisitor, Heinrichs van Kalox, agent of the Golden Throne. Interrogate, this is Ordox Xenos. Inquisitors that hunt aliens. Right hand of Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar, Heinrichs van Kalox, Ascension Psyker, in the service of the Holy Order of the Emperor's Inquisition, is bestowed with many titles and considerable powers, which he directs towards one goal, the fight against the enemies of humankind. Van Kalox is aboard the von Valancius Voidship by order of the Lord Inquisitor, in relentless pursuit of a cult that threatens the Coronis expanse with untold calamity. Heinrichs is ready to sacrifice the remains of his own humanity in the fight against the archenemy, but if he does, will he then be any different from the monsters he fights? Where were we? Carouse. Skill allows to resist negative effects and substances. Expands knowledge of this topic. Awareness, subconscious ability to react to things that conscious mind may not perceive. It allows to notice threats such as ambushes, traps, cleverly hidden objects. So, we need warp lore, Xenos lore. We need awareness to spot hidden stuff. And we need persuasion for conversations. That's the most important from skill checks. Those 4. He got tech use, Pascal. Then he's got medicine. We got a, what did I say, navigator. Yeah, that's our navigator. A brute, psyker, and the inquisition. What is all of this now? No explanation on the leader. Increases movement points by 2. No explanation. No explanation. Points. Dear God. Boost allies, ignore attacks of opportunity, capture the area. If you kill enemies in a captured area, all allies will get an extra turn, while the zone itself will turn into a strong point for 5 rounds. That sounds like use and abuse skill. Hill to die on. Again, the area that needs to be captured in 1 turn. And those inside the area do not spend action points or trigger weapon cooldowns. And again you get the extra turn. All allies within the area become stunned and exposed if you fail. Get back in a fight, recover from burning, bleeding, toxing, and stun. Bring it down. Momentun. This will be the inventory. That fucking looks nice. Really nice. There is this thing that's called profit vector. The profit factor is a representation of the relative value of the Rogue Trader warrant of trade and what opportunities and resources it can call upon. It can carry frags, cracks, amulet, ring, glaciers, helmet, armor, 2 rings, nice. Second slot. can't even imagine how better this is gonna look once the full version is out. But, whatever. Did I miss something? Let me see the UI. There's the inventory. Veil thickness. When Psychers reach deeper into the warp to power their abilities, there is always the chance of the Empyrean bleeding into our elite. A factor that is invariably destructive and damaging. Using psychic powers in a battle by both allies and foes shatters the veil between the materium and the immaterium, between reality and the nightmarish realms beyond. There are 4 states of veil thickness: untouched, wounded, bleeding, and broken. Many possible negative effects have been noted for each state. The more veil is shattered, the dire consequences will occur. Low chance to trigger psychic phenomena. Each round, veil thickness decreases by 1. Wounded. Low chance to trigger perils of the warp. Bleeding. All demons gain small bonuses to their characteristics. You can summon chaos when abusing spells, basically. Broken is a guaranteed chance to trigger psychic phenomena. High chance to trigger perils of the warp. All demons gain great bonuses to their characteristics. So there is a penalty when you play with spells. There is no explanation on Momentun though. With Momentun you trigger this shit to capture the area. There's a journal. Let's see the journal. Rumors, orders, and quests. I love the UI, even though I know they're gonna change. I even like it now. Map. Voidship, point of interest, companion, enemy, exit, neutral creature, neutral. Oh, you can move on a map. Encyclopedia. We're gonna need to read all of this. As the game develops, of course. And this is cargo management. Von Valancius flagship. Oldest and mightiest void ship belonging to the Von Valancius dynasty. Every system aboard this frigate has been tried and tested in innumerable engagements. Its laser-based weapons and turrets are accurate and hard-hitting. Its plasma drives are rugged and reliable in extreme conditions. Its size and maneuverability fit perfectly to pursue smaller, faster raiders and to hunt countless pirates, xenos, and heretics in the Coronis expanse. More than a few previous Von Valancius Rogue Traders admitted the stellar performance of this vessel, and with a few minor conversions, flagship served them faithful. Our ship. This is smooth. How long will I play today? I don't have a clue. As long as it takes. And it's not only today, it's for the next 2 years. I would need to play more. But after nearly 8 hours in a game, then I can give my first impressions after 8 hours in a game. First of all, it's early access. And this game is a year, if not even 2 years away from the full release. The final release. We gotta have that in mind. Graphics will be better. Optimization, combat, perhaps the entire game is gonna be voice acted too, and so on and so forth. So every aspect of the game is gonna get better. We gotta have that in mind. As far as the story goes, pretty similar story to Breath of the Righteous. Again, you're a captain, commander, and this time, instead of inheriting a crusading army, you inherit a ship. A Rogue Trader battleship. And you need to build your name in Coronis Expanse, because the previous owner died. That's the story. The prologue is missing, the first chapter is missing. You start from chapter 2 on level 15. I seen no character progression, not a single level in 8 hours. So basically leveling is right now, I can easily say it's non-existent. There were only 4 classes to pick and so on and so forth. Now, I was speaking about the story. I like conversations. The game is true to the Warhammer. Like really, fans will love it. Everything is there that you expect out from a Warhammer 40k is there. And probably the biggest Warhammer project ever in terms of a video game. As far as performance goes, it varies, okay. At 1 second I had 1 frame per second. I would say that average, depends on the map you're playing, but average frame rate on high settings is around 30 or so. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. That's not a main issue at all. Game time, I heard it's a 50 hours long chapter. As far as difficulty goes, you can play only on normal and core difficulty. All other difficulties do not exist right now. I can't speak much about the difficulty. It's not a hard game. At least on a core, it's not hard. Not about maps, a world map, how you scan areas to transition around Coronas. I think it's Coronas Expanse. It's done. I like it a lot. It's done brilliantly, okay? Like, this is amazing. And you discover other systems, okay? In each one you have a few planets, ship battles, things to discover, okay? Call it like dungeon crawling part, as well as main maps. And the map is fucking huge. I can't wait for them to finish the entire game so I can make my decision, but this is a really great part. Graphics on high settings are nothing special. I guess they're gonna be better on a full release. That's like the last thing they should do, enhance the graphics. Because right now, Wrath of the Righteous looks better than Rogue Trader in early access. That doesn't mean that Rogue Trader won't look better than Wrath of the Righteous. It will. And gameplay, in 8 hours, 4 battles in total. That's a battle per 2 hours. Way much less combat than in Wrath of the Righteous. 80% of the game is talking. Reading, talking. I can't say how it's not fun. It is, especially for Warhammer fans. But only 20% of it so far was combat. As far as combat goes, turn-based. And it's slow. And it's not done well yet. Game throws you in the middle of the map, and the game uses half cover and full cover system, and it throws you in the open. It threw me in 4 fights, it threw me in the open in 3 fights. I can't reposition, I can't reallocate. I don't even want to imagine how tough it's gonna be on harder difficulties if we lack stealth and positioning. For initiative and who plays first, you roll dices. If you roll bad dices, you're basically fucked. It doesn't matter if you know how to play or not, you're fucked. As far as other part of gameplay goes, everything that I've seen in Wrath of the Righteous is here, okay? Discovering traps, secrets, treasure, how you interact with objects, with NPCs, all of that is exactly the same now, just different skill checks. Now it's tech use. Coercion to intimidate, this is basically intimidate, they could easily call it intimidate instead of confusing players. Lore, knowledge, arcana, now it's lore warp, lore imperium, okay? Like that part with skill checks in the gameplay, exactly the same. I need to play more. I only played 8 hours, but what I've seen with combat, it throws 20 enemies on you, and then it throws NPCs, and then everyone takes like 15-20 seconds to play. And the fight that should last like 30 seconds lasts 30 minutes without failure. If you fail and reload, God forbid, it's gonna last an hour, if not even more on harder difficulties. That's atrocious. There are 2 solutions. Less enemies, harder enemies, more tactics, or some fast combat button. If it doesn't have real time with pauses, at least speed up combat like 10 times. The leveling part, I can't speak about it. I don't receive a single level, there is no character creation in Alpha, you receive a hero on level 15, and you receive all companions on level 15. There are no classes, there's this only fighter, leader, adept, soldier, and then they transcend into assassin, veteran, strategist, vanguard, but I can't speak about it, there's nothing to speak about it. I barely got XP in 8 hours of playtime. Itemization, crystal clear, okay, and it's done very well, but I haven't found useful items in 8 hours. That's subject to change drastically till the full release is out, for sure. Both leveling, options, items, all of that is gonna change God knows how many times. As far as enemies go, I only seen human enemies in 8 hours. I seen servitors. I haven't seen a single demon, single chaos spawn, or other alien races. Xenos. So I can't speak much about it too. They are in the game for sure. I know that. Music is phenomenal. Best main theme I heard in a while. Also atmospheric music during the game. It's absolutely crazy good. Lack of voice acting is, on this type of game, it's so fucking impactful, okay? To read everything is a freaking pain in the ass. There's a lot of text. Narration is needed, full voice cover is needed. If not full, partial, whatever, just not to read the entire game. And probably it's gonna be partial, similar to Breath of the Righteous. But if you ask me, this game with some great narration would be freaking epic. All in all, what it is, it looks like Breath of the Righteous. It doesn't have to do anything with Breath of the Righteous of how it plays. The most similar game to this one would be Wasteland 3, like 70% same as Wasteland 3. As far as combat goes, as far as exploration goes, and how you resolve quests, how you talk with NPCs and so on, that's Breath of the Righteous. But combat, doesn't have to do anything with Breath of the Righteous. Completely different game. It's basically a simplified version of Breath of the Righteous, because Breath of the Righteous was complex as hell. And this one will appease more players, I guess. Rogue Trader. More people will be able to play this game and like it, because it's less complex. I guess they gonna aim for audience, which is a good thing. And there's a lot of Warhammer fanboys out there. They're all gonna play this. There is no better Warhammer game. Even now in early access, there is no better Warhammer game. There's just not. This is the best that you're gonna see out of Warhammer 40k. We're gonna continue playing. That's the first impression, okay? Only after 8 hours. And I'm dead bloody tired. Tomorrow I'll step onto it and I'll play for 10, 12 hours. Maybe I change my opinion. Potential of this game is huge, but it all depends how they resolve combat, speed, or better to say pace. Pace and immersion. The two most important things. Pace, balancing, and immersion. Pace goes with balancing together. Those would be the most important things. You resolve it with, as far as immersion goes, with narration, with voice cover. Pacing, it needs to be faster. It just needs to be faster. If you want, that's the problem basically with all turn-based games, okay? It doesn't matter what you play and what type of turn-based game. Is it isometric, cards, CRPG, I don't know, roguelikes, like Darkest Dungeon. That's the problem of turn-based games. Now, how Darkest Dungeon 2 resolved the issue? It's fucking fast. That's how. It's fast and smooth. One animation, bam, a second, immediately another one plays. Enemy, they play, they did not think, they do it in like a second or two, and then combat goes fast. Okay, here when I need to wait for 6 NPCs to play and 20 enemies, I forgot what I wanted to do, man. I forgot where I am. So pace, balancing, and immersion through voice acting. Everything else looks perfect. I won't even rate the game because I need to play a lot, and there's gonna be chapters. And also, what's the huge issue is they gave us chapter 2 instead of giving us prologue and chapter 1, so we can start from level 1, see basic things, okay, see the leveling, classes, how it goes, interact with companions for the first time, get to know them. Let's see the ship, let's see the first owner of the ship, that Theodora, whatever the hell they call her. No, they throw you in chapter 2 and then you got like 50 skills and spells unlocked, weapons, items, companions act like they know you and you don't know them. So you completely lose immersion there. Weird decision to start from chapter 2. And what's even worse, when you play, through that conversation with companions, you discovered what happened in chapter 1. And in prologue, you discovered that there was a previous owner of the ship that died from chaos. And you inherited the ship instead of seeing it on your own. I wanted to see that part on my own without getting to know it through companions, through the story. So basically, the more you play into chapter 2, the bigger the spoilers are for prologue and chapter 1. Unless they plan to change the game drastically, but I doubt. That's the story. You are the new owner of the ship. Still early to tell. That's only the first impressions again. Potential of this game for Warhammer fanboys better than Wrath of the Righteous. For me personally, I don't know. It's gonna be a great CRPG, a huge one. Immersive, probably also extremely hard and so on, but it's still early access. I like what I've seen in like 70-80% of time. The thing that worries me the most is the combat. Like, it really worries me. Okay, combat. If you want to do turn-based combat with half cover, full cover mechanics, you got Wasteland 3, you got freaking XCOM, you got Gears Tactics. To see how it actually works, you need to have crafted maps for combat. You can't just throw enemies out of nowhere and there is no cover. And they roll the initiative. And they get to play first and ram your ass. No. Just no. You don't do it like that. You gotta have a crafted map with cover. You gotta be able to position and then roll the dice for initiative. But you need to position. And yeah, it's overwhelming because it starts from chapter 2. It wouldn't be overwhelming if it started from prologue and chapter 1. It would be great. But yes, when you enter in chapter 2, level 15, you don't know shit, then yeah, it's overwhelming. I'm disappointed that there is no real-time pause. I don't even think about it. I know it's turn-based and I'm cool with it. I want to see how to fix turn-based. How it can be fixed. How it's gonna be faster, smoother. That's what I'm interested in. Not if it's gonna have real-time with pauses, but to see a better turn-based combat. Basically, yes, it's a mix of Wasteland 3 and Pathfinder. When's the full release? God knows. In a year, 2 from now. Will I wait for the full game despite problems I just talked about? I'll finish this. I'll play it non-stop. Okay. I'll play it non-stop. No matter the problems, it's early access. It's supposed to have problems. That's why it's early access. Thanks for watching. So see you back soon.